Hey everybody, Dave here, with a quick reminder that if you enjoy our podcasts, there are a number of ways you can help support us. You can, of course, contribute directly via our Patreon page, and we thank all of you who continue to do that. You can let our sponsors know you heard about them on the CyberWire, which helps them know they're getting good value from their ads. And you can help spread the word to your friends and coworkers to introduce them to the CyberWire and share that it's something you consider a valuable part of your day. We do appreciate all of the support. Here's today's show. A big email scam extracts more than $37 million from a major automotive parts supplier. Wikipedia suffers a DDoS attack in Europe and the Middle East. NERC and FERC get to work. Thrip may really be Billbug, and that's attribution, not etymology. Was U.S. Cyber Command trolling North Korea on the DPRK's National Day? And what does the Department of Motor Vehicles do with all the data they collect on drivers? In some U.S. states, it seems, they sell it to private eyes. It's time to take a moment to tell you about our sponsor, Recorded Future. Recorded Future is the real-time threat intelligence company whose patented technology continuously analyzes the entire web, developing cyber intelligence that gives analysts unmatched insight into emerging threats. At the CyberWire, we subscribe to and profit from Recorded Future's Cyber Daily. As anyone in the industry will tell you, when analytical talent is as scarce as it is today, every enterprise owes it to itself to look into any technology that makes your security teams more productive and your intelligence more comprehensive and timely, because that's what you want, actionable intelligence. Sign up for the Cyber Daily email, and every day you'll receive the top trending indicators Recorded Future captures crossing the web. Cyber news, targeted industries, threat actors, exploited vulnerabilities, malware, and suspicious IP addresses. Subscribe today and stay a step or two ahead of the threat. Go to recordedfuture.com/cyberwire to subscribe for free threat intelligence updates. That's recordedfuture.com/cyberwire. And we thank Recorded Future for sponsoring our show. Funding for this CyberWire podcast is made possible in part by BugCrowd, connecting organizations with the top security researchers, pen testers, and white hat hackers in the world to identify 10 times more vulnerabilities than scanners or traditional pen tests. Learn more about how their award-winning platform provides actionable insights like remediation advice to help fix faster, while methodology-driven assessments ensure compliance needs are met at bugcrowd.com. From the CyberWire studios at Data Tribe, I'm Dave Bittner with your CyberWire summary for Monday, September 9th, 2019. At the end of last week, Toyota Boshuku Corporation, an automobile component manufacturer and a member of the Toyota Group, disclosed that a European subsidiary lost more than $37 million when it fell for a business email compromise attack. The incident itself took place on August 14th. Toyota Boshuku has said in its disclosure that the loss occurred when the company followed, quote, fraudulent payment directions from a malicious third party, end quote. The loss was a heavy one, and it highlights the risk of business email compromise, even to well-established companies that can be expected to have sound procedures in place. Little more than these bare facts are known at this time. Toyota Boshuku says it's inhibited from saying more because of its participation in the ongoing police investigations. It does say it's working to recover the funds its subsidiary lost, and it asks for everyone's understanding its decision not to offer more information at this time. Also, over the weekend, Wikipedia sustained a cyber attack that took it offline in several countries. Computing caused the outage the result of a large distributed denial of service attack affecting Europe and the Middle East. The Wikimedia Foundation said Saturday that bad faith actors of the sort it tends to attract were responsible. Wikipedia is working to restore normal operations. The foundation declined in its post to speculate about attribution. The North American Electric Reliability Corporation, NERC, an industry group, has released a report on the March 5, 2019 incident that affected the U.S. power grid. According to E&E News, this cyber attack generated the first formal report of a cyber incident from the utilities to the Department of Energy. NERC's report of lessons learned downplays the severity of the attack as affecting a low-impact control center, and it cites a basic lapse in cyber hygiene, namely failure to patch a firewall, as the enabling cause. NERC recommends that utilities follow a set of familiar best practices: patch management, network segmentation, network monitoring, and so on. Coincidentally or not, the Wall Street Journal observes that the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, a U.S. government regulatory body, is considering revising its rules to include public identification of electric utilities that fail to follow rules designed to ensure the grid's physical and cybersecurity. Cyberscoop reports that Symantec thinks a recently discovered Chinese government hacking group, Thrip, may actually be another manifestation of the long-active Billbug or Lotus Blossom unit. Thrip, like Lotus Blossom, has concentrated on military organizations. It's also particularly interested in satellite communications, media, and education targets. The geographical focus has been Southeast Asia. What is trolling? It's a word with a complicated history. Its root meaning is a technique of fishing from a slow-moving boat, often with multiple hooks. It came to be used in the 1990s as a description of certain forms of online behavior designed to elicit a response from people looking at the internet. Soon, people who trolled, that is, people who tried to engage others with distracting, often off-topics posts or comments, came to be known as trolls because trolling sounded like something mythical Scandinavian beings might do, maybe from beneath a bridge. So, would trolling count as a kind of information operation? Well, sure, why not? U.S. Cyber Command seems to have been trolling Pyongyang by releasing samples of DPRK malware on North Korea's national holiday. Axios thinks so, anyway. September 9th, which is today on the Baltimore side of the international dateline, but yesterday on the Sunanju side, is the day of the foundation of the Republic. It's a big day in the DPRK, like the 4th of July in the United States, only with more flag teams and rhythmic applause than fireworks and grilled hot dogs. We should note that the North Korean government has been telling the rest of the world that, contrary to the slanders being mouthed by the Yankee puppets on the UN Security Council, they don't hack stuff or rob banks or jackpot ATMs or any of that stuff. At any rate, between midnight and 1 a.m. yesterday, Cyber Command released some hidden Cobra code for the benefit of researchers. Axios asked them if the timing was deliberate, if they were messing with Mr. Kim's head. Cyber Command said, in effect, no comment. Quote, "We do not discuss details about the malware samples in CNMF team posts," end quote, is how their public affairs representative put it, in a statement that doesn't even amount to a non-denial denial. As one tweeter observed, it's old stuff, and at this point, on this day, Cyber Command is just being mean. On the other hand, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Right, Mr. Kim? And finally, what do departments of motor vehicles do with all that information they collect about drivers? In the U.S. and elsewhere, driver's licenses can amount to a de facto national identification system, and the DMV asks a lot of questions about you. A recent visit by one of our people to the DMV on the north side of Baltimore this weekend required birth certificates, marriage licenses, W-2 tax forms, a recent credit card statement, and a recent utility bill, which is quite a grab bag of PII. So what do they do with all that stuff? Make sure you're you, of course, for one thing. But according to an investigation published by Vice, a lot of state DMVs are selling the data to third parties for some serious dough, enriching the state coffers to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. Who's buying? Some of the purchasers strike Vice as more or less legit, like towing outfits and insurance companies. Others, however, seem, as Vice puts it, more nefarious, notably private investigators. And, unlike Philip Marlowe, these gumshoes are happy to do divorce work. Several of the DMVs told reporters that they drew the line at selling the photos on the licenses. So we've got that going for us, we guess. And now a word from our sponsor, Observe It. The greatest threat to businesses today isn't the outsider trying to get in, it's the people you trust, the ones who already have the keys. Your employees, contractors, and privileged users. 60% of online attacks are carried out by insiders. To stop these insider threats, you need to see what users are doing before an incident occurs. Observe It enables security teams to detect risky user activity, investigate incidents in minutes, and effectively respond. With Observe It, you know the whole story. Get your free trial at observeit.com/cyberwire. That's observe, the letter I, the letter T.com/cyberwire. And we thank Observe It for sponsoring our show. And joining me once again is Joe Carrigan. He's from the Johns Hopkins University Information Security Institute, also my co-host on the Hacking Humans podcast. Joe, great to have you back.
Hi, Dave.
Got an interesting story from The Verge, and this is about an update that Google made to Gmail for iOS users.
Right.
What's going on here?
So what they've done is they've finally given Gmail users on iOS the option of blocking images from being loaded when you open an email.
Okay.
Right.
Is this something? Now you're an Android user.
I am
Is this
an
something
Android
you could have already had that capability over on Planet Android?
It would seem so.
Okay.
Although until this story came across, I didn't change the settings. But I was able to go in and quickly change the settings for all my accounts. Now it's account per account basis. So the setting is attached to the account, not to your Gmail client in general.
I see.
So I have like 5 Gmail accounts on my phone.
Right.
What was interesting is in the article, it says that iOS for Gmail users will now let you do it, but if you use G Suite, you cannot block images from loading. Right?
So the corporate users
can't
do it.
Can't do it, but corporate users can do it on Android because I have a corporate email account from G Suite on my phone. I was able to change the setting for loading images on loading the email.
Now, let's review here. What's the significance of being able to turn off loading images?
Okay, so there's actually a privacy and security risk with this. Somebody can attach or put embed in the HTML of an email because now, for years now, for decades now, email has been using HTML. I can create a unique file name for every email I send out and have that file loaded when someone opens the email, and the HTML engine of either the email client or the web page notices that there's a link for an image. It goes and it requests the image, but because it requested an image with a unique name, I know who has opened that email, when they open the email, and I may actually know where they are.
So this is the whole tracking pixels.
Right. It's a tracking
thing,
pixel, essentially.
Right.
It can be a very small white image that you'll never see.
And I open an email in my email client, this tracking pixel gets summoned.
Right.
And you know that I've opened the email.
Correct.
Right. Now, I actually have a plugin for Chrome that I use that blocks tracking pixels. It's called Ugly Email.
Ugly Email.
Ugly Email. And one of the things I like about it is that it puts up a little icon next to messages that contain tracking pixels.
So it knows before you open it.
Correct.
Correct.
And one of the things I like about this is that it just lets me know who's trying to track me.
That's good information to have, I think.
It is. And it's very interesting. I mean, obviously, here at the CyberWire, we get lots of email from PR folks. PR folks love to know if you've opened their emails or not.
Yes, they do.
So, and this also blocks that, so they don't know if you've opened their emails or not. So, that can be helpful. So, yeah, interesting.
It's a good third-party solution on your web browser, but what about your phone? Now, Google is allowing you to do this on your Google account, your Gmail accounts, but not on your G Suite accounts. I think they need to go ahead and allow G Suite users to go ahead to do this as well.
All right. Well, it's a good capability. I guess I could say, what took you so long?
Right.
But
I'll say that for you, Dave.
Okay, right.
And why haven't you done it for G Suite users? That's what I'd like to know. On iOS. I mean, I can do it on my Android phone, but it seems like it's a fairly simple fix.
Yeah. All right. Well, good to know. And if this is something you think concerns you, definitely worth going in and checking those settings. Maybe it's something you want to turn on.
Yep.
All right. Joe Carrigan, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Dave.
And that's the CyberWire. Thanks to all of our sponsors for making the CyberWire possible, especially our supporting sponsor, Observe It, the leading insider threat management platform. Learn more at observeit.com. Don't forget to check out the Grumpy Old Geeks podcast, where I contribute to a regular segment called Security Ha! I join Jason and Brian on their show for a lively discussion of the latest security news every week. You can find Grumpy Old Geeks where all the fine podcasts are listed. And check out the Recorded Future podcast, which I also host. The subject there is threat intelligence, and every week we talk to interesting people about timely cybersecurity topics. That's at recordedfuture.com/podcast. The CyberWire podcast is proudly produced in Maryland out of the startup studios of Data Tribe, where they're co-building the next generation of cybersecurity teams and technology. Our amazing CyberWire team is Stefan Vaziri, Tamika Smith, Kelsey Bond, Tim Nodar, Joe Carrigan, Carol Terrio, Nick Valecki, Bennett Moe, Chris Russell, John Petrick, Jennifer Iben, Peter Kilpie, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.